Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to Borderlands 3. Hope you guys are having a great day today. I've wanted to do this for a really long time. I've actually wanted to do this in every single Borderlands game, but I just assumed that no one would care and no one would watch it. Now I'm at a point in my life where I don't care if anyone watches it. I am doing this because I want to do it. What a fucking amazing concept. There is a fantastic, and I mean fantastic, Google Doc that shows community submissions for every legendary gun in the game, as well as where it comes from. As you can see, some of these are world drops, some of these come specific from enemies, and some of them are quest rewards as well. But as you can see, there are a lot of legendaries in Borderlands 3, and I wanted to try to show off all of them. That's an ambitious goal. I don't know if I'll actually complete it. Maybe there'll be a white whale out there, a weapon so rare that I possibly can't get it. Is this 200 guns? Is that what that says? Is 200 guns? So that's what I want to do. Thank you for joining me. First up, I figured we should probably start with the first boss that's farmable. That seems like a good location to begin. And that, of course, would be Mouthpiece. Where do we find Mouthpiece? Great question. He is found on Pandora. And you'll be able to find him on the Ascension Bluff. He, of course, is one of the first bosses you actually find in the game and is farmable really early on. He drops a shotgun that's pretty good. Let's go see if we can get it. When you spawn into this zone, you're going to be down here to the west. If you want to get to the boss, you just have to travel across the entire zone and get to his little hideout over here. I would love to tell you direction, but man, these maps are still so bad. Now this, like I said, is a quest that you'll get pretty early on and is part of the main story, so it's kind of hard to get through the game without finding Mouthpiece. In fact, it's impossible. But in order to start farming him, if you wanted to, at level 10 or whenever you come through him, all you need to do is turn the quest into Lilith first, and then you'll be able to make the same path back here that I'm doing right now and go defeat him again. So I've made it inside the Holy Broadcast Center. I'm basically just steamrolling through everything. I'm not even stopping to fight things, just running at full speed. If something gets in my way, I'll punch it. That's about it. We're just trying to make it to the end of this facility so that we can fight the boss. Now, when I get to this point, this is the drop down for the boss, and this is the vending machine that they give you so you can stock up. When I get here, I like to just leave the game. It resets all the trash mobs behind me. You don't have to worry about that at all. Of course, not mandatory at all either. Now, this guy does drop a unique blue weapon, I think guaranteed every time, so we'll show that off over here as well, but the legendary is a bit more rare than that. That being said, we did farm this on stream a few times. I've probably gotten 6 of these things. Bosses can drop world loot sometimes. Bosses can drop loot that's only tied to them. I think Mouthpiece only drops his loot table, so that makes getting this weapon pretty easy. Now, for the fight itself, it comes in 3 phases. He's going to be charging up these speakers, as you can see here. You don't want to be near those speakers when they go boom, because they can deal quite a bit of damage to you if you are not careful. You can push each phase by simply getting his health bubbles down one bar at a time. He has 3 health bars, or health bubbles, however you want to word that you eventually have to break through. And he'll go immune after each one. So, we are not, I have no idea why I died there. We are already on the last phase. And basically all that happens is he spawns more ads and then decides which area he's gonna blow up next. And you just need to make sure you're not in that area. Nice and easy. Is he gonna give us the gun on the first try? No luck today, but luckily for me, I've already turned in this quest to Lilith, and that means that I can just quit out and go back to the main menu, play the game again, and we are gonna reload right back at those vending machines that we took a stop at earlier. We can purchase some ammo, make sure that we're fully topped off to go back in, and just kill him again. Nice and easy. Take 2. No legendary. Come on, Mouthpiece. There you go, buddy. So this is the Mind Killer. I already... Hey, you got it out! I already have one equipped because, like I said, I farmed this a lot on stream. But the Mind Killer... Oh, it can roll with different... Well, good to know. It can roll with different... Slightly different affixes. The one on the ground has a larger magazine and also a faster reload speed, but the one in my hands deals more damage per shot and has higher accuracy. Interesting. I actually didn't know that. We've already learned something from doing this series. So the Mind's Eye itself, I read online that it's a charged weapon, but the only thing that I can get it to do is make noise. That's the only difference I could see with the charge. I think once the crosshair in the middle of the screen lights up, this thing is going to be charged enough. It has a pretty cool bullet trail. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'll slow this down in editing. I just have to remind myself to do that. Now, what's kind of interesting about this gun is it is a Malawan, and Malawan in this game are almost exclusively elemental-based weapons. So the fact that this shotgun isn't is kind of cool. Its text is, "I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer." I don't know what that means. I don't know if that ties into this weapon's capabilities at all. But I'm going to go shoot some stuff, and we'll try to figure out what it actually does. Why would you want to farm this weapon? Let's find out. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the weapon stats one more time, we can learn a little bit more about how this weapon works. So we see that it does 517 damage at level 50, and that says ×9 next to it. That means that the Mind Killer is shooting technically 9 projectiles out at a time. Now, the cool thing about that is obviously all those projectiles are in a pretty narrow field if you're taking a look at the weapon trail for this weapon. So those projectiles are actually pretty compact. Now, the weapon doesn't have unlimited range. It does stop at a certain distance. So this guy right here is out of my range right now. But as he comes back in, hey, bud, you gear up a little bit? Oh, you made a fucking no! So as we get closer to these guys, it seems like it's just easier to hit all of those 9 projectiles on a critical hit spot of an enemy. Now, because this doesn't have a element tied to it, the fire that you're seeing on the screen does come from me just being a siren and doing fire damage naturally kind of around me all the time. I am not seeing any measurable difference in damage between holding the charge down longer and just releasing that shot. It seems like it charges almost instantly, which is good. We did do some testing with this gun when we first found it live on stream, and I was theorizing that this talent right here in Amara's skill tree, fire rate and charge speed, I had this maxed out, and I also think I had a class mod that increased it even more. So we were thinking maybe with my build that the Mind Killer was charging up right away, but it seems like it's just instantaneous no matter what. So if you want to get the most out of this build, get close to your enemies. Shit, are we actually gonna die here? You want to get close to your enemies and then try to get the entire projectile here to encompass the character. Actually, no, exactly the same. I was gonna say maybe charging it up more increases the amount that the projectile expands, but that doesn't seem to be the case at all. So you want to get really close to a target. You want to put this in their face and pull the trigger. That's going to get all of your projectiles hitting them. It does kind of... I was doing some testing with... Here, let's get these guys to respawn. I was doing some testing with kind of trying to figure out how the projectile hits its target. And the only thing I really saw is that if part of the circle hits them, only part of the damage is being dealt. So you want as much of the circle to hit the enemy as possible. That may seem like a no-brainer, but I guarantee there's going to be some weapon that doesn't exactly work that way. So if we shoot this guy's toe, shit. if we shoot this... Fuck, they're too close. I'm hitting him with the entire projectile. So yeah, that guy over there, we only hit him with half the circle. And you can see that doesn't deal much damage at all. If we hit him with the entire circle, he gets taken down significantly faster. Just kind of hard to show off because it's a shotgun. You know what I mean? Like, that looks like a pretty solid hit there, to be honest. That guy's tankier than the other ones. Unfortunately, there's no, like, target dummies in Borderlands 3. I hope that's something they add in soon. But the fact that this doesn't have an elemental affinity tied to it just means that it's going to be a good all-around weapon to pick up. It does do increased weapon damage and has faster charge speed. Maybe that's why this particular one is firing that fast. It kind of looks like they all roll with weapon charge speed, though. So they do have some variance in stats. Yeah, I mean, overall, not a bad weapon at all. I certainly don't hate it. This would be just a decent place to start out to try to farm your first early legendary right when you finish the game normally. And I feel like this could carry you through the game quite far without being too ridiculous. Like I said, we're only playing on Mayhem 1 right now, so these definitely aren't the hardest enemies. But it kind of eats through people. It's really not that bad. Keep in mind, we have not customized our build to maximize the DPS output of this weapon whatsoever. In fact, this particular build we're running right now is a melee build, so the best thing I can do for my character is jump in with my ult and then just smack a dude, and that's gonna kill them faster than just about anything else. So keep in mind, we're in no way powering up this shotgun with our talents, except for maybe a little bit of extra elemental thrown into the swing of things. In fact, I don't even think that we have... Oh, we do have this talent. I was gonna say, I don't even think we're converting any of this damage to elemental, but obviously we are. So not a bad gun at all. It has a pretty tight spread. Means you could shoot it at a decent distance, although it does have that built-in kind of bullet drop off where the projectile just fades. So something you would want to use in medium range. Doesn't seem that bad at all. I don't hate it at all. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This was the Mind Killer, the first legendary weapon that you can reliably farm in Borderlands 3. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be back with some more weapons in the very near future. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Oh, okay. But I'm going to smash this guy in the face. There you go. There you go.